This year's Christmas season will likely feel more normal than last, but it is going to be more expensive. Now, financial services firm PNC has released its Christmas price index. It tallies the cost of the birds and 5 gold rings that one's true love gave in that famous Christmas song, and based on today's market rates. So on average, 5.7% more this year relative to pre-pandemic pricing of 2019. It is the largest increase since 2013. In the U.S., the Consumer Price Index has hit its highest level in nearly 4 decades. Consumer prices continue to surge in November, climbing 6.8%. The Eurozone's inflation rate rose to a record high in November at 4.9% in Africa. In Nigeria, inflation hit 15.4% last month. Reports say the price of chicken has doubled during the festive season. Well, buying a Christmas tree is a ritual for many during the holiday season, but this year you'll have to pay a lot more for that fur in the U.S. The industry has been hit by a confluence of factors driving up prices for fake and real trees. Karina Huber has more from a tree farm in Morristown, Vermont.
A family inspects trees at Payne's Christmas Trees in Morristown, Vermont. Pickings are slim this year. Owner Tom Payne says there is a shortage of trees. One of his main growers told him he has none available. It's the first time that's happened in the 40-plus years Payne's has been in business.
I've had people helping me out that know me, saying I've got 50 here, 50 there. So I'm finding trees. It's just not to the quantities I'm used to.
The Christmas tree shortage isn't unique to the state of Vermont. All across the United States, it is harder to get a tree today than it was in years past. The low supply is pushing prices higher by as much as 30% as compared to a year ago.
There's also inflation. Higher gas prices are making it more expensive to ship trees across the country. Prices for fake Christmas trees are also elevated this year. Blame that on global supply chain constraints caused by the pandemic.
Supply chain has definitely been challenging for the artificial Christmas tree market. We have to bring our products over from our factories, and that has been very challenging. You might have heard about the situation at the ports or the lack of truckers. All of that has impacted us, which means that we have fewer trees to sell as an industry.
The bottom line this holiday season, if you're looking for a tree, expect to pay a lot more for that balsam, fir, or fake this year. That's if you can even get your hands on one. Karina Huber, CGTN, Morristown, Vermont.
The world's biggest supplier of Christmas merchandise lies in eastern China's Zhejiang province. But this year, the export hub of Yiwu has been facing a supply crunch. Wang Qiwei has more.
This is Yiwu, a small city in East China's Zhejiang province and the world's biggest distributor of Christmas products. It produces around 2/3 of global supplies. As Christmas orders picked up, surges in global shipping costs became another challenge for suppliers in Yiwu. In fact, a large number of goods are still waiting to be sent overseas. The bottleneck is due to a lack of container ships, as some providers have already stopped services due to surging cargo rates.
It's also been very difficult to find a freight forwarder this year. Delivery prices are also more expensive than in previous years. Using a container costs 3,000 to 4,000 yuan more.
The pandemic has also driven up prices of raw materials.
Prices of chips and plastics have risen very quickly. These have had a significant impact on our production costs. Our selling prices have also increased by 10 to 20%.
This in turn has led to price hikes of festive consumer products around the world. Suppliers and buyers say they've been trying workarounds to mitigate the impact.
Our clients told us that the shipping rates have more than doubled, with containers hard to book. So they're asking us to offer the most cost-efficient ways to pack things. For example, a client that might have originally ordered 10 wreaths, but now they're asking us to reduce the number of wreaths and add more decorative strips, because the wreaths are larger and heavier and less efficient to ship.
Local suppliers say, given the pandemic's impact, they've also made their pricing strategies more flexible. City officials say Yiwu has managed to keep up with the challenges, especially during what's meant to be the most wonderful time of the year. Wang Qiwei, CGTN.
We're joined now by Chu Qiang. He's the Assistant Director of the International Monetary Institute at Renmin University. Mr. Chu, it's good to see you. So we heard a little bit there about some of the factors that are driving Christmas product prices higher. Could you just go into details on that for us and elaborate?
Well, apparently right now we're facing some crisis in the supply chain and labor. Everybody probably knows right now the shipment cost has been rising quickly, probably to one of the craziest level in history. The shipment from China and from other manufacturing countries to USA or to European market has been not only doubled or tripled, it's more like 10 times of it. And also due to the COVID-19, especially the Omicron's impact, many places have been suspending and many workers cannot go to their workplace. So right now we've been seeing a lot of loads of goods cannot be undocked and to be shipped to the consumer's hands. And all these reasons contributed to the skyrocketing price in the Christmas market. And especially when in this season of holidays, people's consumptions and procurement has been to another high level. So we see this is kind of a sad fact, but we still need some time to solve the problem.
And in the US, there's record inflation, so prices of beef and pork too are jumping, and that's going to seriously affect families this holiday season.
Oh yes, this is a long story. Probably you have already heard that the cold supply chain is probably the most possible place for the virus to be shipped and to be spread ahead, because in the cold environment, the virus can stay for a very long time. So the butcher shop and all this meat factory has become one of the most dangerous places for the workers and also for the consumers. Hence, in the very early part of this year, many butcher shop and the meat factories, meat companies has been shrinking up their productivities, capacities, and they've been facing a lot of losses. For example, they have already booked a lot of cattle and to be butchered. But due to the virus, due to the impact of the short of hands of resources, labor resources, and many meat cannot be processed and then wasted. There's been a huge waste and huge cost happened to the meat companies. So the tycoon companies in the USA, to name them, is like 4 giants monopolized like 60% more of the market. They decided to save the cost and also to get back some of the losses. So they rise up high of their sales price, like 30%. You can see by Tyson's report, the Tyson company probably raised up 30% of the beef price in this season alone, and also for some other companies similarly. And due to the reasons just mentioned in the supply chain and in the human resources. So all kinds of price and costing all circles of the supply has been rising up very quickly in the U.S. market. And now the result is you can see in the Christmas when people want to have more meat on their dinner table, the price is more than affordable.
And Mr. Chu, another trend that we're seeing, the number and value of second-hand products as are sold on eBay, it's had a nearly 10% jump since the pandemic began. So that's not likely to end in the next few years. But will we see this trend continue?
Well, this trend will be continuing for quite some while. Even though, like we just mentioned, in China, the Zhejiang provinces and the Yiwu city and also some cities in Guangdong province, they have been going full steam on to produce people's demands, like Christmas toys, Christmas gifts, and etc. But still, the shipment becomes a choke point. So many products are lying in the inventory of Chinese companies, but cannot be delivered to U.S. consumers' hands. And with all kinds of the costs going up in all the circles of the supply chain, so people have no place to buy the new product, and even if they can do so, the price is more than affordable. So people switch to the second-hand market to get some gift, to get some toys, and anything else they want to buy. And well, we see this is upside of it. People go greener, people can circulate what they have. But the downside that people, well, I think lots of people want to buy a new product, but still have to wait for quite a while, probably until the Easter days.
Well, Mr. Chu, thanks so much for your insights. Really appreciate it. That's Chu Qiang, Assistant Director of the International Monetary Institute with the Renmin University. As 2021 comes to an end, Palestinians in the besieged Gaza Strip are hoping that the new year will bring fundamental changes to their reality. However, many Christians in Gaza have been left disappointed by Israel's refusal to grant them entry permits to the West Bank for the holiday season. Some have close family members in the occupied area. Noor Harazin has more from Gaza.
Israel has imposed tough restrictions on the movement of Palestinians in general and Christians in particular between Gaza and the West Bank as Christmas approaches. The West Bank holds a number of sites revered by Christians, none more so than what they believe to be the birthplace of Jesus Christ in the town of Bethlehem. Ghada Abu Dawood applied for a permit to travel to the West Bank weeks ago, but luck was not on her side. So she instead started decorating her house in the Tel El Hawa neighborhood west of Gaza City to celebrate with her family, relatives and friends.
The political situation here is always unstable, so we usually do not get permits to reach the Holy Lands. But this does not mean that our celebrations will stop. So we and the children hung decorations for the holidays in our house. And we will celebrate with friends and hope that love and peace will come to us in the new year.
Israel says it is issuing permits, but each is according to what is called security assessments. So far, authorities have approved nearly half of the 951 requests. Majid Al-Amash and his 4 children were among the lucky ones to get an entry permit and go to celebrate Christmas in Bethlehem. Majid began preparing his bags full of Christmas gifts for his extended family in the West Bank.
I'm very happy because I got the permit to visit the Holy Land in Bethlehem and to pray in the Church of the Nativity, in addition to meeting my brothers and sisters who live there. This is a special opportunity for the family to gather to celebrate the holidays and welcome the new year together.
Palestinians flocked to buy gifts and trinkets to decorate their Christmas trees. Mustafa Al-Banna, owner of a gift shop in Gaza, says that this year Christians and non-Christians in Gaza are very keen to buy trees and accessories in an attempt to create a happy atmosphere to offset the difficult times they are going through.
This season we started displaying festive decorations and supplies. To celebrate the new year, many people come here to buy items to decorate their homes.
Christians in the Gaza Strip are considered a small minority. Only about 3,500 are thought to live among the more than 2 million Muslims. The vast majority of them follow the Greek Orthodox Church, and a small number of them participate in a Palestinian political life. Noor Harazin, CGTN, Gaza.